Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll be sharing all the details of our trip to Sri Lanka, all the information on flights, visa requirements, currency exchange, and local transfer. We had 15 days of time and wanted to cover as many places as we could in the country. We had planned this trip a month prior to our travel, booked our flight through Sri Lankan Airlines from Chennai to Colombo. It costed 12,000 INR per person for round trip. Visa is very easy. You have to apply it through the official Sri Lankan website. It will take 5 to 15 minutes for your visa to appear in your email. It costs 20 USD per person for citizens of SAARC nations. The link is provided in the description below. Landed in Colombo in the afternoon, completed the immigration formalities, exchanged few dollars at the airport, and took two local SIM cards, one from Dialog and the other one from Airtel. It costed 600 INR for both, and both of them had very good coverage across the country. We wanted to start our trip from Sigiriya. Sigiriya is an ancient rock fortress located in the town of Dambulla in the central province of Sri Lanka. This is about 150 kilometers from Bandaranaike International Airport. We headed out of the airport, booked a cab ride through PickMe app to Sigiriya, which costed us 2,500 INR. We've reached around 4 p.m. in the evening to our stay, Sigiriya Rock Height, booked via booking.com. The stay is very pleasant in between the copse, with a nice view of the Sigiriya Rock from the balcony. Later, we had a meal at a nearby restaurant and rested for the day. Next day, we started our day early and visited the ancient rock fortress, which is just 10 minutes away from the stay. We've reached there around 9 a.m., got the tickets, which costed 2,500 for both of us. Please carry your passport because the ticket prices for the SAARC nations is lower than the other countries. It'll take 20 to 30 minutes to complete the security. Once the security is completed, you will head towards the rock. You have to walk up to 500 meters to reach the high point. You will walk through the beautiful gardens and lotus ponds around. Well, if you get lucky, you can spot a monitor lizard for every 50 meters. We would like to give you important tips for this hike. Since this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, there are no fancy elevators or easy climbing aids. The hike involves climbing steep rock steps. Keep in mind the challenging conditions, including high humidity and direct sun exposure during the summer season. Plan and hike accordingly. It takes 1 hour to complete the hike till the top. Once you reach the summit, you will see the ancient town of Sigiriya. This place has remains of ancient water gardens all over. Take your time and explore. On the same day, we started to Neelaveli, a town near Trincomalee city. We hired a tuk-tuk to reach Neelaveli beach, which costed 1500 INR. Checked into our accommodation in the evening and enjoyed the beach for the rest of the day. Next day morning, we rented a bike and explored beaches around Trincomalee, had lunch in a local restaurant, and came back to the stay by evening to enjoy the sunset by the beach. We visited Tirukoneshwaram Koval, which is located near Fort Frederick. This temple is also said to be one of the Shakti Pitas. Later in the day, we started our journey to Kandy. Arranged a taxi through our accommodation to reach Kandy. It's a 4 hour ride from Trincomalee to Kandy. We have reached Kandy by afternoon, checked into the hotel. In the evening, we went to Kandy railway station to get the tickets for the Kandy Ella train. Later, we enjoyed a stroll around the Kandy city lake, had dinner, and rested for the day. In the first half, we visited the Paratenia Botanical Gardens. It's a very beautiful place with various varieties of palm trees, bamboo trees,
Bamboo
which are over
collection,
100
different
years
kinds
old,
of the
and
bamboo.
also a large variety of flower gardens. You can take a buggy ride within to roam around the garden. Post lunch, we went on a short hike to reach the viewpoint in Kandy. Later, we visited the temple of Tooth Relic. Please remember to carry your passports as there is a discount for citizens of SAARC nations. You can also watch the famous Candian dance at the Candy Lake Club. Next day, we started our journey to Novara Elia, checked out of hotel in the morning, and headed to Kandy railway station. Boarded the Colombo Badula train, which offers majestic views of mountains, and got off at Nanuoya railway station. It takes 4 hours from Kandy to Novara Elia. Our stay is just beside the railway station of Nanuoya. We checked into the hotel and arranged a tuk-tuk and headed straight to Sita Amman Temple, Ashoka Vatika. It is said that this is the place where goddess Sita was held captive by King Ravana. We visited tea plantations of Damro. They will take you around the tea factory to show you the extraction of tea. It will take an hour for the store. Also, they'll offer us nice tea as complimentary. After making some purchases and taking few pictures, we headed to a strawberry garden nearby to spend some time. Later, we visited the Ramboda waterfalls on our way back to the stay. We reached the stay around 7 p.m., had dinner, and rested for the day. The next day, we had some time before we hop on to the train to Ella. So we visited nearby tea estates and the railway station bridge across the stay. It was really beautiful. Checked out of the stay and headed to the railway station to board Colombo Badula train to Ella. We've reached Ella around 5 p.m. and checked into the hotel. Have to say the vibe of Ella is awesome. This hill station of Sri Lanka at 3400 feet from sea level is just amazing. There are so many cafes all around the place and most of them are open till 1 a.m. We hopped onto as many as we could. The next day we visited the Nine Arches Bridge. We had spent more than an hour to watch the train pass through the bridge. Make sure you find out the timings of the train that pass through the bridge when you visit this place. After Nine Arches Bridge, we headed on a hike to Ramna Cave. Ramna Cave has 700 steps to hike, and the maintenance is very poor. After climbing 700 steps, we reached the cave filled with bats and possibly snakes, so this is not recommended. Rather, you can visit Ravna Falls, which is 30 minutes drive from the Nine Arches Bridge. In the afternoon, we started to Mirissa, which is on the south of Sri Lanka. It's a 3-hour drive from Ella. We've reached Mirissa by evening, checked into the stay, took a walk on the beach, had a nice dinner, and got some good sleep for the day. Next day morning, after breakfast, we visited Coconut Hill, which is very close to our stay. We spent some nice time on the hill watching the waves. It was really beautiful. Later, we rented a bike to visit the southern point of Sri Lanka, Dondra Head Lighthouse. This is another beautiful place to sit by the beach and enjoy the waves. Later in the evening, we walked on the beach shore towards the Parrot Hill Rock. Took a very tiny hike on the rock and watched one of the best sunsets. Spent some beach time and headed back to the stay after dinner. Next day morning, after breakfast, we started to Unawatuna Gaol. It's a 40-minute drive from Mirissa. Checked into the hotel, had lunch, and in the evening went to visit the Gaol Fort. This place is very beautiful at the time of sunset. In the afternoon from Gaul. It's a 3-hour drive from Gaul. We checked into the hotel and went to visit the places in the city. Initially, we visited the Lotus Tower, which was not open to the public at that time. And then we went to Victoria Park, walked around, went to Independence Memorial Hall, and then drove around the city center. After the city tour, we returned to the hotel to enjoy the sunset by the beach. After continuous travel and hopping between places, we finally decided to dedicate a day to ourselves. We started off with a leisurely morning, enjoying an amazing Sri Lankan festive breakfast. We took some time to relax and explore the surroundings of our stay. Later, we visited a mall nearby for some shopping and had a delightful lunch there. Coincidentally, it was also the Sinhalese New Year, the traditional New Year celebration in Sri Lanka. To embrace the cultural significance of the day, our hotel had organized various cultural events. We thoroughly enjoyed these events, immersing ourselves in a vibrant atmosphere and indulging in variety of interesting traditional dishes. Like someone said, watch more sunsets than Netflix. We've enjoyed yet another breathtaking sunset by the beach. This is our last day in Sri Lanka. We had an amazing trip. I never expected Sri Lanka would be so beautiful. There are so many places we couldn't visit due to the time constraints, but we hope to explore and visit them in the future. Honestly, this place has peace of my heart. We flew back to India by afternoon from Colombo. Make sure you see the remains of Ram Setu through the window of your flight. It's a remarkable sight. All the homestays and hotels we've been to, we opted only for breakfast. Sri Lanka has so many local restaurants with various options of Sri Lankan, European, and Indian cuisine for vegetarians and non vegetarians. All our accommodation links are available in the description below.